Alright. No problem. What's going on, everybody? Ellis here, and I'm here with Dr. Kirk Ward. He's my childhood friend. We grew up together. He's doing amazing things, and we're going to have a great conversation today talking about his background, some of his career aspirations, his influence on me growing up and attending George Washington Carver Magnet High School in Houston, Texas. He's a great guy here, well respected, admired by many.
Appreciate you, man.
Not a man of many words in the front face. He's definitely one of those humble,
You give me the guest pastor introduction.
Absolutely. I mean, and even at that, this is a casual conversation. I put this together so that we can start to share our stories as black men in STEM, highlighting multifaceted interests outside of what we do professionally. I'm going to let you share. He is a doctor, but he's going to get into it.
I'm a dentist, y'all.
Dentist.
Yeah.
Hey. Teeth are important. Let's be very clear. I don't play about my teeth. I don't know if you remember. Let's just get into it.
I'm just not one of the people that write, doctor on everything. You feel me?
Really?
Yeah. So honestly, at the end of the day, I'd be forgetting I had that title. And I think that I implement that in my practice. Like, if you want people feeling comfortable, a lot of people have told me from their experiences as patients that a lot of doctors be full of themselves. But if you humble yourself, you get a lot of good feedback from your patients and good reviews and just good rapport.
Okay, absolutely. So you practice in the Houston area?
It's a little bit outside of Houston.
Okay.
It's a country little town.
Okay.
It's Dayton, Texas.
Okay.
It's like northeast, almost near the Atascocita area.
Oh,
like 40 minutes every day. It's against traffic. I take 59, hit 90. I'm there in 40 minutes, man. Listen to music or podcast.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Give you time to clear your head before work.
Absolutely, man. That's something important right there. Definitely getting your mentals together. So,
sure.
What's some of the music you're listening to on the way there?
On the way there, depending on what day it is, some gospel music.
Okay, I feel that. Absolutely.
I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube lately. Like, I listen to podcasts and stuff like that, or of course, like you heard me listen to Les earlier. Yeah. I like June.
Okay, yeah, Larry June, go hard. I got to go to his concert.
He didn't really put out much lately, but ever since college, I was a Dom fan.
He's coming to Houston.
Who?
Dom Kennedy is coming to Houston. Yes, March 23rd or 28th.
Okay, I definitely have to check.
Yeah, he's going to be Houston. I'm planning on getting out.
Nostalgic for me, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was around the time we were high school together.
For sure.
With, Dom Kennedy.
Dom was popping off,
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit. So it sounds like you're listening to the vibes on the way to work. Real chill.
Yeah, you gotta be chill.
I could imagine. I don't think I want my dentist being crunk working on my teeth.
Even in the office, like I'll be on some it's just in my office because the office doesn't really play music. We have like TVs and everything.
Yeah,
the kids can pick if they want to watch. They be watching Moana or something.
Yeah.
But me, when I get back to my office, I have like some 90.
Okay.
So I'm smooth.
Cool. Yeah, you always been a smooth, cool person. So I kind of talked about it earlier, just to give a little background. So Kirk graduated a year before I did at Carver Magnet High School, but I feel like we've known each other since. Did you go to Grantham or did you go to Grantham? Yeah, so I was gonna say, we went to middle school together as well.
Kirk kids were considered the weird kids.
Yeah, absolutely. There definitely was like a level of being the weird kid. So in Aldine District, they have this track program where,
you were engineering too, right?
Yeah, I did engineering all the way through.
We went to a magnet program. I went all the way from like Raymond. I went from like Raymond Academy. They went to Reed, Grantham.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people split up. Some people went to MacArthur.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, my mom kept me on that magnet track.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't do the engineering route personally.
It ain't for everybody.
That was a lot of math for me.
Okay.
A lot of math.
Yeah.
I went to that A&M camp.
I did too.
Yeah.
I attended that camp.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had some fun there, more social fun than academic fun, but it was an adjustment. So I also attended. I was in the Aldine District. I went to Stovall Elementary School, and then I went, which was
playing.
Yeah.
Stovall it's Grantham.
Yeah. So, but I went to Reed Intermediate and Grantham Middle School.
Okay.
but I went to so there's a Stovall Elementary, and this is like really local stuff for the Houston area. So my global audience, I apologize, but we're trying to give you a demographic of how you can know someone, because they were developing a community program to where you would have classes with the same youth from when you were young all the way up until high school.
For sure.
So we met in middle school, and we kept in the same school pipeline all the way through graduating from the same high school.
Yeah, because Houston is a big city, but you're also very close knit.
Yes, absolutely.
On the community area.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and I lived out in Spring, but my mom, she worked in the Aldine district.
Okay.
So she always wanted us on her schedule. Me and my little brother.
Completely.
We were always like 4 years apart. Like if I was going into college, he was coming in as a freshman in high school. So
absolutely. Yeah, I got to meet your younger brother going into my junior year as well. So, and he's really good friends with my younger brother.
Yeah.
So it was always this degree of close knitness.
Yep.
And that actually is a good segue into one of the conversations I want to have. How is it growing up as the older sibling? What was that like for you being the older sibling with expectations?
Well, I'm actually, I remember you said you wanted to, what's one thing people don't really know about me? I actually have an older sister too.
Really?
Yeah, I have an older sister.
Okay.
She's 9 years older than me, so of course there's like that a generational gap.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was the oldest in my household technically, but I can't take the title of
you're not the okay, cool. Well, respect to Miss Big Kirk Ward, absolutely. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's Dayon is her name. So
wow, okay. My name being Yon, her being Dayon. That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was the oldest, but she led a good example for all of us.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, oh wow. So you're a middle child. Technically, you're a middle child.
I say I get to take on the responsibility of both, or just like the perks of both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, yes, me and Kyle grew up closer because we were only 3 years apart.
Yeah, so, I can see that.
You know,
absolutely.
So that was a little bit more natural. 2 boys too. So
yeah.
I do something, we do something. They put me in football. Kyle was in football.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. Well, hey, breaking news. This is definitely something I had no idea, but I mean it makes sense though. 9-year gap. So far removed. She's an adult. We're around, so it's just like little kid.
She had always appeared as an adult to me. 9 years as a kid. That's a big difference.
That's a big deal.
You 10 and she's 19. Like, oh, she's an adult.
Yeah, she definitely. I mean, absolutely. Okay, cool, man. That's a fun.
But I always remember a thing that was so cool. Having an older sibling.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. I've talked to me and Kyle talk about how just from him, me being ahead of him, he'll get just tips on cologne and stuff. I'm oh, that smells good.
Absolutely.
I'm be the first one with this on high school or something.
Absolutely.
So I didn't even know I was having that effect on me.
For sure.
It rubs off.
That's awesome, man. My siblings, they kind of want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't even know that me and my younger sibling were blood siblings.
Really?
Because we're so different.
Okay.
I'm all STEM and nerded out into my eclectic interests.
Wait, y'all don't look alike?
We do. That's the weird part about it. I mean,
I would say me and Kyle, they be saying we look alike. We do kind of look alike, but we also have completely different pathways. I'm still
art.
My brother, he's an actor, a singer and a performer. I don't really like being on stage like that for real.
I remember watching, I think it was HR training for a job that I took, and I saw his video. We won't get into it, but I saw his brother in my HR training.
Okay.
He has a part HR training. You definitely probably see his brother. It's a very interesting scene to say the least.
I have to ask him about that.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Yeah,
but he does random stuff like that.
Yeah.
What has he been in? What's it? Pop? No, it was a church.
He's a commercial as well. My brother, my siblings, man, they did their own thing. I was like, I might have been uncool to them to say the least. They kind of was fly doing their own thing, but that's interesting. And even with that, y'all had different paths and your own identity.
Yeah.
Do you feel as if that helped shape your expectations of yourself, or do you think that was more something that you just appreciated from a distance?
I think I appreciated from a distance, because my parents had always thought we were kind of gonna do the same thing because he came in the same. He always came into school after
I see. Yeah.
the Raymond and the Reed. Then so he was an engineer too. But in high school, he tried out for like a play. As an engineering student and beat out the people that was so Carver had
Panther players.
Yeah. Carver had what was it? Was it just 2 tracks or 3 tracks? Was it 2?
I think it was 4. So you had visual,
you had
performing arts, you had dance, and engineering. And they did like somewhat of a choir. Choir was kind of like that in orchestras. Well, there were a couple of different tracks that I think people kind of prioritized one of the 3.
Yeah, so me and you, engineer, he went out for that and beat out the performing arts kids. So, and then I came to a play where I was like, oh, he kind of,
Which one was it?
Kind of made you respect it. I think the first play that I saw him in was Ghost.
Okay, yeah, my brother was in Ghost as well.
Patrick Swayze. Like,
absolutely.
This is funny, but it's cool. I was like, okay, it's different, but he has presence. Like, and if he likes it, I mean, he got all my support.
Precisely.
It's turned into a career for him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, like I mentioned, if you watched HR trainings before, I don't even remember the name of the company, but you probably caught his brother. It's definitely a standout performer, to say the least.
I gotta ask him about that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay, well, that's awesome. So I'm getting the vibe that family is important.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And reflective of your journey.
Yeah, my family, they made a good environment for me. I thank God try to thank God every day for the family He placed me in. Love my mom and my dad. They set a good example. So me and my brother, we were able to pick our paths and excel in what we do because my parents kind of laid the groundwork. Had always prayed for us and that we find our purpose and God favor us and put us in the right pathway around the right people, and He comes through every time. So.
1,000%. Without a doubt, never fails. And even in that speaks to, in my opinion, influence as well as having a orchestrated path. So it's like you mentioned, you actually a middle child, you got an older sister, but I would imagine there was a level of influence there that she had in how you wanted to carry yourself or how you wanted to model your adulthood based off of her.
For sure.
And then going into developing, or your brother kind of beating his own path, but behind your experience. So even though you went to the school before him and established a relationship, teachers knew who you were, you had a reputation, and then your brother to follow after.
For sure.
He was able to identify, like, yes, this is what my brother did, but this is what I'm
he set his own expectations because that's even what my parents were expecting. Exactly. Like, I was always like a straight A student. And he mess around and get like a B or something. He'd be like, he may not have this. That's not even. He's not using science right now. So it is what it is. But I'm glad we both still found our path.
How did that, not influence, but how did that impact you? Did you feel like you had to pay a tax in terms of your performance for what? It's like if I set the bar here, I'm making A's, they're gonna look at my sibling as needing to do the same thing.
I was doing this for me. Being 3 years apart, I wasn't thinking that deep into it. I was kind of student I was because my mom was she'd get mad at me, but she was kind of like a nerd. I was a nerd.
There's nothing wrong. But
school came pretty easy. I remember you were telling me, I was telling you how I always had one of the later birthdays. Because they were trying to see if I was going to be in a class of what I graduated. Class of 2012 in high school. I would have been class of 2013 because of my birthday. I'm born in November. But they tested me out in there. And they said I was good, so they put me in there. But then they put me in like the GT program so my mom was like, oh, he was gonna be good regardless. And they kind of kept me on that track. Of course, you get to like I wasn't for the AP classes and all that. I remember one time we took like AP chemistry. We all got ones on that test.
Man, I got some.
I should have went the dual credit route, man.
I completely understand. Okay, cool. So actually, that means you graduated 2012.
2012 from high school.
Okay, so you're 2012. So actually, we 2 years then. So maybe you were on your way out, and you know how Alden is. I think your reputation preceded you.
Really?
Because that means we didn't go to school together until 2000 and
Wait, so you were class of 20?
I'm 2014.
Really?
Yeah, actually, that kind of leads into the next part. Your reputation preceded yourself because
I didn't know I had a rep.
Man, yeah. So let's get into that component of the conversation. One of the things I want to hit on is influence and mentorship. And this actually, like, this illustrates it beautifully. We went to the same schools, but I knew of you before I got to high school with you.
Really?
And that's from teachers highlighting your personality, your grades,
This is all
your
news
ethics.
to me.
Yeah. Mr. Campbell, for example.
Okay.
When I was at middle school at Grantham, he would refer to you as one of the model students.
Did you have like Coach James?
Yeah, I had Coach James as well. Me being in that track, and I kind of steered off the path of what was expected of me at a point in time. They're like, hey, this dude named Kirk, he's gonna go do great stuff, and you want to act like him. They had planned to introduce us, but they couldn't get on. I mean, school it was just
That's
different.
funny. That's
Yeah,
funny.
absolutely.
I know.
And then more so your sibling and my sibling being in the same grade range, when they got to Reed and Grantham, they knew each other. So I saw you around.
Yeah.
And some of that, because your brother did band as well.
Yeah.
My brother was in band. So I saw you in passing.
I played the sax, he played the sax.
Yeah. I played trumpet, my brother played sax. So that's how the friendship got established. So I saw you around, but I mean, you just, okay, you big dude, like, it is what it is. And then we get to, at Eisenhower, because that's another thing. Carver did not have sports.
Yeah.
So you would play to your zone school. And
so whack.
so unfortunate.
And the coaches show like favoritism.
Yeah, that's a whole battle right there.
Already like starting two steps behind the practice. When you get there, practice had already started.
And they
so
doing
you got
the thing.
half the time to really show.
Yes, and then that's a whole.
It came to the point where like my senior year, I was like, when I had realized I was probably going to Howard, I was going to get a scholarship. I was like, well, I don't even want to play football. Like,
man, we gonna get to that because that's something else I want to lean into. But that's a segue into it. So, speaking of influence and reputation, I knew of you, met you in passing because your brother, my brother, really close, especially with the saxophone.
Yeah.
But that was that. I go to summer football camp. You're playing tight end or defensive end. Yeah, you're playing defensive end. And I was going in, and this is where it's laughable, but they would set me up as a center because Coach Watkins.
They had you playing center.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I was. So, fun fact about myself, a lot of people are gonna laugh, but he can attest to it. I played center in high school. I was the only lineman with a six-pack. And it wasn't like on a B team. I was on A team playing center because of the martial arts. So I had the footwork. And Coach Watkins was like the lineman coach and the linebacker coach. Like,
He's up there with the big boys.
Yeah, so I was up there with the big boys. I got a little bit of strength behind me. I mean, it's not as visible, but yeah, footwork and technique saved me in that. So Kirk being on the defensive side of it, it was like, hey, you know, I don't want to use the hazing word, but I'll say more so the character development. And dealing with that playing school football. But saying that into that, that's something that I believe allowed us to have a more of a cachet growing up because we played football in the engineering space.
Yeah, a lot of similarities.
Yeah, a lot of similarities. The difference was people respected him a little bit more than I did, probably because of temperament. I'm more sociable, more out and about. You more reserved, so it's like you talk too much.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't. I would say, yeah, I was kind of, what do they say, the strong, silent type.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how, I mean, I had my close group of friends,
Yeah.
and people kind of knew me because of, especially at Carver, because they had heard I was like smart. But the thing is, like,
and humble, if you can't tell, because kind of, we ain't gonna get into that just yet, but this man was beyond, or he was a genius in my opinion, and set a very high bar.
Don't have me out here looking like Kanye.
No, we ain't gonna do that now. I wouldn't dare put that on your jacket.
I'm not a self-professed genius.
But your reputation preceded you.
Thank you.
And
I'll take that.
And you had a very positive influence.
I mean, my parents had always told me, people are always watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
yes, I can attest to that. I can definitely attest as an observer And almost so much say like I had expectations of myself, meaning that I wanted to have the respect that you had in the class, in the hallways.
Really? Bro,
yeah, man.
I had no idea of this.
Yeah,
respect.
man, absolutely, man. I remember walking down that main hall, and it was like I would see teachers speak to you as if you would, like, not on that level, but someone worth their respect. You walk down the engineering hallway, teachers like, hey, how you doing?
The engineering hallway.
Yeah, people like you might not even notice it, but teachers would speak to you.
Like Dr. West.
Dr. West, yeah, Dr. West. Like even in that space, Mr. Marvin, they would.
I don't know. I kind of also feel like it's to get that respect, you like give it. I know in like high school, it was fun to like make fun of like the teacher and stuff like that.
Yeah, that definitely was a thing at Carver, roasting.
But even now, to like from that day, you just make people feel special, make people feel important. They respect you in return, and if you on all your P's and Q's, like, and you're respectful, yeah, it's kind of. And not even anticipate, you're not expecting it, but it's just kind of, it's just how the world works.
Yeah, 1000%, absolutely. And I believe that's what set the bar, because at least for me, you had no idea that someone, a couple classes up under you, was kind of like walking in your shadow and setting the bar. I don't know if you remember, but one day we were walking down the engineering hall. This was going into your senior year when you had said you were done playing football, because it was going into the fall. I don't know if you stopped playing that summer or what have you.
I think I stopped playing that. I went to like the 2 days in the summer and all of that, but
I remember.
I was like, you know, when the juice that just don't be worth the squeeze.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it is what it is, bro.
And so at that time, I'm a sophomore. I'm excited and looking forward to it. And I remember asking you about it. And he was like, "I'm gonna do this like on college, man. I gotta make that." It was almost kind of, you just said, "Man, it's."
I mean,
over.
it was like like younger aspiration, because everybody think they go into the league. But the doctor child, I remember I had a physical like 1 year going into like middle school. They were telling me I was supposed to be 6'3".
Okay.
I mean, I'm 6'1", but I think that would have helped me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I was one of the people, like, I remember some of them 2 days. My strength, like, I would say pretty much now, I'm pretty strong now, but back then, I was lifting up. They had me lifting the bar to like get my strength up.
That is very interesting to say the least.
Looking back now, that's crazy. That's crazy. Boys is putting up 225.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say, even me, I remember it was like the bar. That was just for the freshmen.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Okay, so that was freshman.
I was gonna say,
no. I'm talking about freshman year.
Oh, okay. I'm tracking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nah.
But I wasn't lifting 225 in high school now.
Okay.
That's like when you I think that's what they do at like the NFL combine to test how strong you are.
But now they had us. I mean, a different trajectory. And I kind of cut to that. I also stopped playing my senior year. Mm-hmm. Similar circumstance.
Yeah.
So like I'll lean to that, and I think
you don't need it.
In that moment, that kind of speaks to like setting an example, because that was one of those conversations that always sat in the back of my mind. Yeah. That I carried even after you graduated. I thought about that as, okay, this is fun. It is an opportunity, but it's a juice worth the squeeze. I'm spending all this time exercising.
You get out of school, you gotta catch the bus or catch a ride with somebody before practice. You gotta get in the locker room, get dressed. They already out there like going over walkthroughs and everything. Yeah. So it's just like it's annoying. It was annoying to me. It got annoying.
Speaking of catch a ride, shout out to Quentin Jackson and Jaquavius Chambers, because they helped me a lot. I didn't have a car when I was in high school until my senior year. After I stopped playing football, and those dudes helped me out with catching rides to practice, and I'm grateful for that. Definitely appreciative of those people.
Yeah, for sure. Now, looking back, Kyle did do something different. He ended up playing for Nimitz.
Yeah,
I think it was like,
I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it was because of my experience at like Ike or whatever. He went to Nimitz, so that's even further away.
Yeah.
I know y'all. I don't know how many people from Houston are watching this, but
it's a completely different.
Aiken, coming from Aiken Carver, that maybe be a 5, a 7 minutes, depending on if there was traffic or not. But then to get to Nimitz, that's like 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, minimum.
If it's traffic,
on 45, 30 minutes.
So
you showing up for the last 30 minutes.
No, but he was always a better athlete than me too. So he was playing. I think you know how they move you up to like varsity, like sophomore year, you get to the playoffs and stuff like that. And he was like on the defensive side too, but he was more like a rover type linebacker.
I was gonna say I do recall him being able to elevate a lot quicker than other students as well. Because I never played varsity, I wasn't that good.
Wait, did your brother play football too?
He stopped. They did basketball together in middle school, but when my brother got to when they got to, but when Ymir got to middle school, he let sports go. I mean, when he got to high school, he let sports go. He focused primarily on theater. That was his muse. He did theater, and he was a very talented actor, performer, and it's more like a hobby for him now. He didn't turn it into a profession. Like that's his bag, to say the least. And that kind of speaks to influence, because you gave me that. I wouldn't call it a warning, but it was a different perspective. When you say, "Hey, man, I'm going to college, brother."
Yeah, it's like
I'm going to college.
If you're not getting scouted your sophomore year, and they not come to see you, man, you better put your heads in them books.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's okay. Like, of course, it's cool. Okay, if you got the gene pool and everything,
the genetic lottery,
exactly,
the genetic lottery,
all power to you.
Yeah,
but most people are average. So I feel like try to make yourself above there. Things you can't control.
Yeah,
you can't control being 6'3". You can't be control being able to lift more than the bar. But you can control like the path you put yourself in. And you don't even have to go to college to necessarily be successful, but put an idea in your head in high school, like what you kind of want to do, that's a blessing in itself. Most people in high school don't know what they want to do, but I feel like being in the magnet program had already exposed us to STEM in a way. So we had already knew that's, if I didn't become a dentist, I probably could have easily become an engineer, because that's what I was exposed to, you feel me?
I would bet my bottom dollar that this man could be an engineer if he wanted to be.
I'm not trying to be an engineer. Like I said, too much, man. But my pastor has always said, that's another influence in my life, is exposure expands your expectations. So
that's a good one. Say it again.
Exposure expands your expectations.
Okay.
Like when you're young, what you see is what you can anticipate. If there aren't too many black dentists. I've had some patients that you tell me you're the first black dentist. How would a young black boy not know he could be a dentist if it's not in his face sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel me?
He is the only black dentist that I personally know. Or even have. Like, man, I knew somebody that wanted to pursue it. I don't know if they finished in college, but you did.
It's a road, man. But I've always been very like goal oriented, and keeping God first, and keeping your head down, and actually, He makes all things possible.
Amen.
All things possible.
Absolutely. Wow. So, and just to like put a capstone to that, you had a very prolific statement about that, and just that transition and trajectory. It's almost as if you were just progressing forward on a path that you believed to be in front of you, and having discernment to make a decision of things that were worth the squeeze, if you will.
Yes.
And being able to navigate it.
I actually catch myself sometimes looking back and seeing where I am now. Because it was a long path, bro. And I just be thinking like,
really? Okay.
I can't believe I really did this. But it's like, it's one of those things like, the day by day is very slow. Dental school, the day by day was very slow. But looking back, and I graduated during COVID, the 4 years goes by really, really fast.
Okay.
But
that's interesting.
The fact that you think about you have to take all these requirements at Howard to even get the prereqs to get into dental school. You get into dental school, Keep in mind, went from HBCU Howard to go
Shout
to
out
dental school.
HU16
class of HU16. Shout out to Mecca.
Okay.
I need to go back to homecoming this year.
Woo, man, I heard some interesting remarks about how
2019.
homecoming has changed for some people.
I think they got rid of the tailgate last year. Like, that's no fun.
Yeah, we don't have that problem in Prairie View.
Yeah.
You ever been to a homecoming to PV?
I haven't been to PV homecoming.
We got to set that up for you, man.
I've heard good things.
Yeah. We'll make sure that
I need to get back to Howard. I've heard good things about PV, and that's local, so that's just right up the street. Just cross that.
Hey, man, you got a friend.
Exactly.
I'll make sure that the hospitality.
There's a few people there. Like it's really no excuse.
A couple friends. Yeah.
Alumni. Everything.
Absolutely.
And I've also heard G-Ho, North Carolina A&T has been really crazy.
Oh yeah, man, that I can't go there. Too much wild and fun. Hey man, that homecoming, woo! Definitely got to set you up with getting out there to have a good time. I'll make sure we host you, get you fed, get you some nice juice, good juice for sure, and some good hospitality there. Man, one of the things that I think escapes you, even to this day, you just followed the path, you treated people with respect, and you had discernment and wisdom enough to see things through. Because on the outside looking in, I wouldn't think that it was such a journey for him because he had just been so successful. And you just did it so effortlessly from the outside.
It went effortlessly, bro. But I put it.
That's why we have this conversation.
I feel like God is very intentional. You know how you ever heard the theory like his life is simulation?
Yeah,
like,
the Matrix.
It almost feels like that because God has always put me in the right places. Like it's just almost not like it's not chance. It's like purpose. Like some of my closest friends that I met, and this is about the circle you keep. I swear. I met them previously, like in Houston. So me and my friends, we got Derek Fitzgerald. He is a medical doctor now. My boy Desmond Taylor. He used to work in like politics and everything. We used to work really hand in hand with the mayor. He's doing great things out here. I believe I gotta check on him. I know he just got a new gig, but that's my man, and he's one of those people that's when he enters a room, he knows everybody. Cool. Social. And my boy Marcus Livingston, he left us for LA, man. Lives in LA, but he owns a moving company, always in several different ventures. But I had met all of them in some program before I'd even gotten to Howard. Like Derek got an Alpha scholarship. We had met Desmond and went to St. Pius, and they had a scholarship, and we met there. Marcus Livingston, do you know Marcus? Marcus went to Ike.
That name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, I gotta pull up a picture after this, but we kind of knew one another because he played football, but he was kind of like, he was more so a performer. I think he stopped playing football as well. Yeah. So we ended up getting to Howard. We stayed at Drew Hall. It's a rite of passage there. All guys dorm. We all on the 4th floor. Literally, it's me. Marcus was next to me. Derek was across from me. Desmond was like all from Houston.
They put all the Houston people in the same floor.
Exactly.
Wow,
Like, and seeing everybody doing their thing, everybody had their own grind. It kind of like lights a fire under you. You feel me? Like,
absolutely.
You be great at what you do. Exactly.
Find you in a way.
Yeah. What is it? Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that's awesome, man. And I think that kind of speaks to, because this is a lot of stuff you're kind of taking it back and reflecting like you had no idea. You were just moving in your purpose. Yeah. And I think a lot of times one of the things that limit people is that they get distracted by the things going around them, whether it be perception, whether it be aspiration.
At Howard, easy to get distracted. That's a place where
I can imagine.
Howard was a fun time. I would say that was some of the best years of my life. A lot of positive experience.
Absolutely.
Wrapping up with President Obama. Yeah, he gave my commencement speech.
That was
crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely, man. History,
man. It felt like you felt like a part of history there. Being in DC, I miss DC. I was just telling my lady, like,
snow.
we gotta go to DC.
Yeah,
just to not even to go to like homecoming, but just to visit DC. DC, I miss the East Coast a little bit sometimes.
Really, that man, it's so cold. I know I'm not out there.
But you get all 4 seasons.
Snow,
So ain't nothing wrong with a little snow. Like when it snowed here, I was like, man, this is nothing. I'm glad I didn't have to
like,
work.
Trying to drive.
Honestly, no, like DC.
DC.
It's cold, but it's not really built for snow. Like, you know, in Chicago, if it snows, like, they're going to school regardless, 8 inches. But DC, if it snowed like 2 inches, they were canceling classes.
Shut it down.
I remember we was like closed down for like a week. That was the sophomore year. Great fun times, man. Snow days,
networking,
and college, networking.
Networking, fellowship, just good, clean fun. Okay, cool. And how would you say that expanding your experiences as far as going to Howard and DC, being Houston, most of your family is from like Texas for the most part?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like, how was that stepping out?
I gotta give a shout out to my dad because Howard wasn't even on my radar.
It's the war, man.
I was going to UT Austin. I grew up a Longhorn fan. I was telling him I was a big Vince Young fan.
My grandfather was this big UT fan.
Scholarship offered there, but my dad, he went to Southern. He didn't finish at Southern, but he had always made it known his affinity for HBCU.
Absolutely.
So he was like, you should at least apply to one.
Yeah.
And Howard had offered they offered a full ride. So my mom was like, I guess you're going to DC. So me thinking I was just gonna be in Austin. I mean, crazy thing about being in Texas, a lot of people get, I don't want to say complacent, but because Texas is so big, it's its own, it's its own thing. Even like Houston, Austin, Dallas, Texas is so huge. It's so many ways you can go to be successful. But there's also life outside of Texas, and I think DC kind of had me think, looking globally. You feel me? You go to UT. A lot of people you gonna meet are from Texas. All over Texas.
All over.
You go to DC. Your friend is from LA. Your friend is from Chicago. You got a friend from Seattle. Like you got a friend that lives in Miami. So that already expands your network.
Tracking
across the nation. At that point,
coast to coast at that point.
So that's how that was.
So you weren't hesitant about it. You were like, we'll get into it.
I knew it was gonna be. I just knew it was gonna be cool. I think I was a little nervous. At first, of course. But I was excited to live like somewhere else, like DC. I had never been there and seeing the monuments. And it was crazy. I had never been to DC. Once before, when I found out I was going to Howard, I was like, I'm gonna get the opportunity to go. I'm excited, a little nervous, but just randomly, I think I had worked in tandem with our valedictorian that year. In like history fair. I think that's so top 4 people in our class got all together. Me, Victoria Ng, what was that? Monica Martinez, and Amanda. I forget Amanda's last name. But we all
keep top 4.
I don't know why we did that, but we ended up making it like national stage. And that was like so that summer we went with Mr. Gunyon.
Shout out to Gunyon, man.
Shout out to
great
Mr.
guy.
Todd Gunyon.
You don't get enough credit for the influence, man.
But so we went up there with him the summer prior to like me entering at Howard, so they gave me a little introduction of the DMV area. We spent a lot more time around like the College Park, Maryland, University of Maryland, but being there, it wasn't just strictly academic. He wanted it, so we went to the museums, we went to the Smithsonian, and the monuments, and all of that.
So got a well-rounded experience.
Exactly. That was before like I got to get back out there to go to the Black History Museum.
I'm tracking. That's awesome, man. So you stepped out of your comfort zone, got a new experience. It was rewarding. You maintained relationships with people that you felt as if were organic, valuable, and you also had time to help out people that weren't on your level just yet, but you didn't even look at it that way. And I think that kind of speaks to the importance of mentorship. So one of the things I'm very passionate about, and I try to instill in my community as well as like others, is the impact of having mentorship, role models, peer mentorship, peer leadership, because you wouldn't consider yourself like a mentor to your peers.
No, not
but
to my peers.
I want to
But there's always, I would say, amongst my peers, a mutual respect for one another.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we are all masters in our craft, and we respect each other for like different perspectives, different ideas. So you get a whole bunch of different minds and different aspects going together. Man, stop
that. I think that's something that I definitely want people to take into consideration. That mutual respect is paramount, and then everyone has something that they're mastering in their own craft, and you can benefit from it directly. Whether it be in art, STEM, entrepreneurship, any form of discipline. If you are amongst individuals that you respect and are willing to grow with, you can accomplish some really great things.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're stronger together than apart. Always.
Absolutely. Strength and unity. Yeah, that's something I live by. So that's awesome, man. And so you mentioned, so essentially like pre-dentistry at Howard, and then so where did you go for dental school?
So I came back to the state for dental school. Went to UT Health here in Houston.
UT Health.
So I was in the medical center out here for like 4 years. That was a big transition going from like Howard to, I think it was like 107 people in my class, and 3 of us were black. So that was a different jump. But that's what it would have been at UT.
Okay.
UT was a beautiful campus. I think that's what I fell in love with.
All right. The hills.
Exactly.
I'm tracking.
I had a homie, one of my closest friends in high school, David Hewlett. He ended up going to UT. And while I was at Howard, he had came up there visiting me for homecoming 1 year. And he had such a great time. It was like, I got to kind of find a way to come back up here. And I'm going to law school out there. I ended up coming back to UT.
So
UT, we swapped places.
Wow.
And he loves DC too, man. It's like, if y'all haven't been to DC, y'all got to get out there, try some chicken with some mambo sauce, go to the Smithsonian. It's just a time, man. You get all 4 seasons up there, like going up there in the spring when like the cherry blossoms are blooming.
I've heard about that.
Man.
I heard about that.
The cherry on the water.
Okay.
It's a vibe out there, man. So
cool. Yeah, man, that's awesome, bro. I really feel as if you found something that you're passionate about, that you're crafted in, and now you are experiencing life in a different way. You kind of set your own path. So what's some of those things let's get into, what are some of your eclectic interests that people might not know about? What does a dentist do in his free time?
Me? What do people do? I don't know. People say they're foodies or whatever. But I like to try a new restaurant.
Alright. So
I like to eat. I just gotta work it off. I try to stay in the gym at least 4 days a week.
Okay.
But I'm gonna eat good too. Man. I'm eating good too. And Houston has a lot of spots for
absolutely.
food, and it's always a new spot with TikTok. You see that, like a new restaurant, I bookmark it. I'll be like, we gotta check this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm not, other than food, I love going to like live events. Like I go to like concerts and stuff. And I'm a big Houston sports fan too. I pretty much went to, and now. Just for having me, bro, I gotta take you to a Texans game next year.
I'm down. I'm down.
I'm always at the games.
I'm down.
And the crazy thing is, I didn't have season tickets or nothing, but I was looking back. I didn't go to the Christmas game. And looking back, I was like, that's the only home game I didn't go to this year.
Oh, man.
Because I kind of knew what was going to happen. So glad I didn't go.
Well, people had a good time, even though the team didn't have such a great time.
They had a good time.
Beyonce, man. My sibling, he talks to my mom into getting those season tickets early. He just had an inkling about it, and they were very overjoyed when they got to go see a Beyonce concert.
So your parents had season tickets?
Well, my Ymir and my mom.
Okay, cool.
Ymir talked my mom into getting the season tickets.
That's what's up.
And it ended up paying off.
I've just been using like SeatGeek. I would find like a deal.
Absolutely.
And I tell the homie, are you trying to pull up? Because I would go to the game regardless. and it's nothing like it's the home meals like this. Just gonna buy you a beer.
Absolutely.
It's a good time. Hopefully they win. Shout out to Texans, man. Love y'all and I hate y'all, but I love y'all, man. Y'all disappoint. So, being a Houston sports fan. Shout out to the Rockets too, man. They kind of doing their thing now too.
Hey man, it's awesome.
They need to keep it up.
Jalen Green.
Keep it up. Well, we'll see, man.
Absolutely.
I think we need another championship in the city.
Astros. That would be awesome.
They held it down, but somebody else got to take over.
Hey, I'm down for it. I would love to parade the city. I'm gonna take you up on that, man. I'd love to go to a game. It'll be fun. As long as we don't play the Cowboys, because I'm a Cowboys fan by generation. But no. But I root for the Texans too. It's like I'm a Texas fan.
Who was you rooting for when they played the Cowboys? I went to that game.
I just was rooting for a good game.
Okay.
Whenever they play each other, I leave it alone when they play each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, hey,
that was they played this past year, like my birthday weekend. I went to Dallas.
Oh, okay, you had a good time.
That was a fun.
Yeah,
you had
a good time.
A lot of Houston fans that went up there.
Yeah, and enjoyed it. So whenever they do it, it's like I just keep me out of it. I'm neutral when they play each other, and I root for them. I mean, it's not like they finna play each other.
You're not one of the delusional fans, are you?
No. I'm
like you got Dak saying he's not too far off. No.
Humility is a thing, and Jalen Hurts from Houston, so it's like he's still technically, you know what I'm saying?
Jerry Jones a trip though.
Hey,
I need to do something.
Listen. I wouldn't know. I'd probably be a trip too if I had generational wealth.
That's no excuse, bro.
Oh, no. Hey,
he need a GM. He can't be his own GM, bro.
Absolutely.
Like about like 80 something. Let somebody else handle it. Just hire the best.
Hey, hire anybody. Help us.
Yeah.
And that, man, I want to pivot the conversation into something that I think is individuals that are stepping into a different level of financial access. How do you navigate? I'm not gonna ask you how much you make, but how do you navigate acquiring a financial level that affords you opportunities and experiences that is not common?
I would say right now, especially at this age, I couldn't say young age. I just turned 30. Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, that's still pretty young. Mm-hmm. Especially to be, I'm going on like my 5th year of my career come September.
Yeah.
So just enough time to get your feet wet. Mm-hmm. But in that whole time, living below my means, you feel me, and stacking up where I can.
That's important.
Invested lately. Mm-hmm. Like I told you, property is on the list right now in the near future. Mm-hmm. But just staying focused, man. Like you work hard every day. When you start working hard every day, you see it pay it off. You want to put those dollars to work for you, man. It's like it's tempting to get the Porsches on the list, man.
Ooh, okay. You're a Porsche guy.
It's.
I saw one when I was coming into the building. The white Porsche.
I like the Taycan electric, bro.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm a fan of electric.
And the crazy thing is that I could go get it now, but I feel like you asked what's my motivation. I think one of my motivations is like grinding for my future self now, like laying the groundwork now.
Absolutely.
The sooner you get that money invested, the more time it has to grow upon itself, compounding.
Yep.
Versus if I go get the Porsche now, it'll be cool, but I could have laid this nest egg set up, and the Porsche still gonna be there. They upgrading cars.
They drop a new one.
There's always gonna be a new one.
So it's a new Porsche,
and the battery gonna be longer. The charge range. I think at first when it was like 200 miles, that ain't up to like 350. So I might as well wait till they get it to 600. You feel me?
You never know.
Exactly.
Put the extra battery pack in there. Mm-hmm. Man, that's
not buying Teslas.
No. My heart was broke because I wanted that Cybertruck, and now I'm just like. I'm different, man, and also we tied into.
Can't get that Cybertruck.
Nah, that's off the list. That speaks to some of the things that I'm passionate about. So for me, financial stability was paramount. I definitely live below my means. Yeah. It's actually laughable. So you probably don't, and an assessment. You probably don't have people kind of having expectations of what you should do with your resources. Like you should be doing this.
Yeah, I mean,
you deal with that too.
Sometimes.
Okay.
But I mean, like, I know what works for me.
Okay.
Like,
there we go. Yeah, absolutely.
As long as I sit every time I get paid, I sit my money to the side, invest here, save there, do all of that, and what's left over, that's the play money. Yeah. That's the Texans games. That's vacations and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
pay yourself first. What's left over, do with what you wish or whatever. And if what's working for me, I'm seeing the investments growing, and I keep track of that. And if it looks good to me, I'm always receptive to like other people's opinions. But
okay, I got one for you.
What?
This is important. You said something that stood out to me, and I want to encourage you. Pay God first.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean. I mean, you're still paying my tithes first.
Respectfully, I'm like, hey, bro. For me, I tell everybody I pay my tithes first.
God
first.
God gets his cuts first. God gets his cuts first.
And it definitely will pay out.
When I say pay yourself, I'm really just saying put money to the side. Like put a percentage of your check to the side. But yeah, God is his 10%.
10% first. And I say that because a lot of people have opinions about that.
Yeah.
When it comes to their faith or what they do.
I mean, my parents had us tithing when we were young.
Same.
If we get $10, you're giving $1.
Bro, there's a
you still got $9 left.
You still got $9 left. My pops and my mom, man.
But that becomes a seed too. It's
absolutely. Yeah, I knew the difference when I was like there were times I wasn't doing right. Like I had a summer job in high school.
Yeah.
Wasn't paying that much, but it was paying enough through the church. And there would be some summers I wanted those sneakers. And I ain't have it for the ties. And I didn't get ties.
There's no way God
messed my sneakers up.
Yep.
Or I ended up losing it all. The little bit that I had, I couldn't do the things I wanted, and it just taught me the lesson early on.
The way God works, man, it's like you sow that seed, you pay your tithe. A lot of people, well, I should get this amount of money back. Sometimes you get access to like different things other than monetarily. There are things more valuable than money, my guy. Whether it's like connections,
experiences,
the spirit,
comfort, safety,
exactly.
Discernment, man. So I always highlight that when it comes to these types of segments and conversations with my peers because it's significant to me. If it applies to me, it doesn't. But it's amazing that you have enough discernment because some people will say, "Man, you're a doctor, you loaded. Why you don't have the 4-star rating?" But to your point, it's like priorities and assessment. And I think that's something in our community.
I think I'm afraid of being broke for real. Like
I ain't trying to be broke again.
It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. You feel me? If I spend all my
money
in, and then you gotta watch. I mean, of course, I've switched jobs twice since, and every time my pay has gone up. But you also have to be aware of lifestyle creep.
Yes.
Just because my pay goes up, I don't want to go buy an more expensive place to stay.
Yeah.
That just means I can invest more. I can save more. And once that ball gets rolling, man, you see the fruits of your labor start to pay off. It's almost like addictive. You feel me?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I see that too. Lifestyle creep is definitely something. I feel like it's become maybe it's just where you've already hit 30, I'm approaching 30. There's these conversations don't really happen as you matriculate. It might have been different now. They wouldn't talk about lifestyle creep at Prairie View.
Oh no, it's something you kind of learn later on. When I was at Howard, we was all trying to wear it was fake, but Givenchy shirts and stuff like that because you trying to stunt. But I think one of the things that you had told me I saw that you were going to talk about. One thing I could tell my younger self, instead of buying the Givenchy, if I could have bought some Bitcoin. When it was like $200,
$300,
and honestly, I was just blowing my money on BS. It wasn't even like you get that little refund check and you think you good. You got food to eat and you'll buy a couple pairs of shoes, but man, different mindset. And
if you're watching this, it's not too late to shift your mindset. I think one of the things that robs us is that we think, I missed out on Bitcoin, so I'm not gonna learn to pivot. Whereas, you might have missed out on it back then, but you still can learn investments now that'll set you up. Because
I'm not gonna lie, it's intimidating to some. I think learning about investing. I've had friends, especially like my friends that I went to college with. They're women, and I try to keep them on game about investing, but they just tell me I don't know nothing about that. I see the graphics and the charts, and it's just intimidating. And I try to explain it to them, but you know, once you get in and you learn it,
it
becomes
more
easier. It's about you
comfortable.
just gotta get comfortable with it. So I encourage people, whether it's just like watch a couple of YouTube videos, just increase your financial literacy.
1000%. Earn Your Leisure, Wall Street Trapper, some of the gentlemen that I subscribe
Black
to.
Enterprise, it's like God has put us in these positions to earn income. It's our job to learn how to keep it. It's one thing to have I told you I'm a sports guy. I read this one book. What's it called? The Millionaire Next Door. And it says, like, because a lot of dentists apparently are broke too, because the lifestyle creep. You feel me?
Hey.
But it's one thing to have a high income. It's called you have a good financial offense.
Okay.
But if you don't have a good defense, that's taxes. That's investing the right way, protecting your investment. I remember you saying one thing people don't know about me. Also, I'm owner of a coffee business.
That's what I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into that entrepreneurship. So you started a coffee. Okay, I just started drinking coffee for the longest.
And the crazy thing, I'm not really the biggest coffee drinker. That's more so my partner.
Okay.
You know, that's my guy, David Hewlett. That was telling you about the lawyer.
Yeah.
So just had an idea. And he loves to. We both love to travel, so we connect through that. He was just telling me trying to make his way back to South Africa.
Okay.
But yeah, he loves coffee, and we're also very for the culture too. So all of our coffee is from Africa. So we have 4 different blends. We got one from Tanzania, one from Kenya, one from Ethiopia, and my personal favorite, one from Uganda. So,
all right. Yeah. My pastor is from Uganda.
Really?
Yes.
So I got a bag in the apartment, so I need to give you one before you leave.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got a grinder?
Yes.
Okay. Grinder. You're gonna love it.
I'll be squared away with it.
But it's called Borderless Beans.
Okay.
So Borderless Beans.
Check them out. I'm gonna make sure that I tag them in their business in the video. You'll see that in post editing. So you want to?
And then you can come get your whitening after you drink your coffee.
Absolutely. A one-stop shop. Like growing up, I used to have to make my dad's coffee every morning, and it was just and mind you, humble acts of service. Yeah. I hated it though, because I had to make it taste right. I couldn't taste test the coffee because it was nasty to me.
Yeah.
But he didn't want too much sugar, but he didn't want it too dark.
Yeah.
So it was like that perfect blend of just enough sweetness, and I had to like eyeball it a little bit, and it
was dark. It was dark.
He used to get Folgers. This was before you had the this was before like the Keurig and stuff. You started popping there, but I used to have to take the grounds, put it in the filter, make sure that the water was right, clean the pot out, put the sugar.
He's putting you to work.
But in mind you, in the grand scheme of things, you think that this is like too much. It was simple, bro.
Yeah.
And it taught me humility in a way.
Yeah.
And preparedness. Like that, I'm definitely gonna have to get my dad on the pod and talk about the coffee store. That's just something like shout out to that.
Oh, that would be cool.
But coffee is a very sociable experience. It is something that can be a great conversation piece for people. Develop connections and stuff. I feel like the coffee date is also booming in a way.
For sure.
Get some nice coffee.
I mean, and besides water, like other than water, it's like the most sold beverage on the planet. Like
1000%.
everybody drinks coffee.
Everybody drinks.
Well, not everybody, but you know,
enough
people drink one thing. You feel me?
I'm a believer now because I didn't drink coffee, and then man, corporate America talk like
But
you get older, you need a little boost.
A really good cup of coffee, like outside in a different country.
Yeah.
Like it's a vibe. And I feel like our brand kind of like takes you there.
Is it good for the espresso martini? Espresso martini. Hey, just for my socialites now, espresso martinis exclusively with borderless beans.
No, I mess with an espresso martini.
Yeah, I had my first one in Atlanta a while back. It was pretty smooth. Yeah, I grew up country.
I don't even remember when I had
my first espresso martini last year.
But now they're pretty normal.
Yeah, now they're pretty normal. Yeah, one of my good friends, Kevin Archangel, on a Nesby conference. Shout out to Kevin.
The best one I ever had was in this random cigar spot in Boston. I was out there for I was a travel dentist for a while, so I worked for this company, and they had a retreat. I guess
I had no idea there was travel dentists.
So the company I worked for, they had a lot of offices throughout the state.
Okay.
And doctors called out, doctors had vacation, so I was like the substitute dentist. You feel
I see what you're saying.
It was an easy check.
You wasn't no substitute check though, I could imagine. That's awesome. But okay. Exposure, some people to look into.
Exactly. But the CEO, I guess, was a Red Sox fan, so we went out there for a company retreat, went to a Red Sox game, and you know, we were all like pretty young too. So like when we went out on the town and found this like cigar lounge, this espresso martini was like crazy.
All right, man. Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Some elevated lifestyle stuff. So, borderless beans. I stand by the product. I would encourage you all to support that business. And yeah, we're gonna take off the moon with this.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all, your support, and thanks for having me out here, man.
1000%, man.
It really enlightened me because I didn't know I was a mentor to somebody else.
Oh yeah,
like that, man. But
didn't know.
Yeah. Somebody's always watching, and the fact that I can have a positive impact on somebody means a lot. It kind of makes me want to give myself a pat on the back. But yeah, I give all glory to God too, man. I'm thankful for the people He's placed in my life, the family He's put me in, and kind of made it to a way to. There was no way we were gonna fail, and being able to have other people see a certain pathway and how you present yourself, it makes like I said, exposure expands your expectation. You see the example?
Yeah,
I can be that too.
1000%. Yeah, absolutely.
I've had some great mentors in my life, so I'm very grateful that I can return the favor.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. I that moment going down the 200 hallway when you gave me that, I would say warning, that changed my life. It changed my life. And I'm appreciative.
That's crazy, man. You never know how many people you touch, and I was probably just trying to keep it a buck. That's all I try to just keep.
Well, you was running late to class even. You was like, bro, like, you know, I'm rock with you. I gotta get to class. But
you know, they only gave us that 4
minutes. Yeah, you had 4 minutes to get, which was
had us running across the school.
But in that moment, it highlighted. I think everything set itself up for the stage. You had urgency, you had purpose. You were. Well, I think you had already been inducted to the Honor Society around that time too. That was something that I aspired. I didn't care about it, but it's like, man, Kirk did it. I know I can too. Like, I got to do it for sure. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. Like that's like the smallest things growing up. I remember like in high school, used to like stress me out. I can't, like, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, when you go in that mode, you're almost like a perfectionist a little bit. Definitely a lot more lax now, of course. Like, you learn to go with life, and you just if you can't be a perfectionist as a dentist, I'm not gonna lie. Your day, the schedule shifts so much. You have to be a little fluid.
He's not talking about his craftsmanship. He's talking about the schedule part. Your teeth will be taken care of.
That's what I mean.
Your smile will be pretty. Your teeth will be fine. He's just saying the schedule of it.
I'm talking about even to get to become a dentist. Like, there is no
just want to clarify.
Perfect way. There is no perfect way to achieve one goal.
All right.
So you find a way to what works for you and how to operate.
That's paramount, because I did not even sniff top 5. I graduated like 11. Top 10% still good, but
I'm saying the motivation was like, I just didn't want to have you don't want to have an incomplete, or what if and then I guess my mom being in education,
I get it.
Kind of made it easy to like worry about keeping good grades.
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus like, I think with like an average student, sometimes like if you weren't motivated, you find yourself you didn't get that scholarship. So now it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So looking back, I'm kind of glad God had put it in my heart to really grind from an early age. And when you start grinding early, it gets easier. Like, it feels weird when you're not grinding. You feel me? Like,
one of the things that I tell a lot of people when I speak at panels for careers or I mentor, I say, start to fall in love with the things you hate, pertaining to academia, pertaining to habits, responsibilities, etc. I hated math too, but I forced myself to love it when I got to my junior year, because I knew that it was paramount to the profession that I wanted. And it made it easy for me to do it. it. So much so to where I found myself leaning more into that than other classes. So yeah, man, this is awesome. We'll probably go for more. We'll more than likely, if you got time, do another episode and talk. We kind of got to get into a little bit of your background, a little bit of your current and your future as well. And I think the people really appreciate this type of conversation because it's not often that we have peers that have a positive influence and accomplish things, but are still relatable, still approachable. I think that's important so that we can show people that yes, it's okay to say someone who's close in your age influenced you or gave you a role model type example, and then if you keep good connections and maintain the respect about yourself, you can still
you always
grow.
want to be accessible, no matter like how high you go. You say, like I said, you never know who you touch. You can be the bright spot in somebody who has no hope. You feel me? So all it takes is somebody to see you. People see themselves in you. So especially as a black man in this country, man, trying to do the right thing. You see that, it makes the path of that more easy to be motivated.
1000%. I think that's prolific. We're gonna close on this. Is John Ellis.
And this is Kirk Ward.
Dr. Kirk Ward. I'm a rep for my guy.
We not in the
I'm
office
a
right
rep
now.
for my guy.
We not in the office.
You know, put some respect on it.
But if y'all see me like on the street, it's just Kirk.
Yeah, it's just Kirk if you see him. Yeah, but
unless you come see me.
And do come see him. If you're in the area.
Yeah, so Smile Club of Dayton. It's probably not too many people out that way. We right across the street from Brookshire Brothers.
Okay.
But you know, like I've been working in a underserved community.
Okay.
They pay well too.
Absolutely. and maybe you want to get the experience of having a black dentist. I'd say that's worth the job.
We make you feel at home. I have an excellent staff.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, man.
We got a staff. That's my
my office manager, she's the MVP.
All right.
My assistants, they work very hard, man, to make sure y'all have a pleasant experience. So come check us out.
Absolutely. Shout out to the team, man. Thank you so much for your time, man. Absolutely. It's a pleasure. And that's all right, man.